Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Alex Builds. Today we have got issue 48 of Eagle Moss's Build Your Own Back to the Future Delorean. So issue 48, and yeah, this is the one that no one wanted to do and everyone hated when they did it, and this is because we get to do all the interior wires. Let me show you what we got. So we get this in the packaging here. As you can see, there is lots and lots of little wires and everything in there. So we'll cut this open in a sec, but as you can see, there is quite a lot of steps in here. So yeah, these 4 steps here are basically just one bit of action. These is where it starts getting a little bit fiddly and a little bit complicated. We're adding wires onto the dashboard on here, adding some cable ties. I am going to use the cable ties supplied, but only just for now. I might replace them with either like some fishing wire like Welder Wayne did, or some fencing wire like Flame Wheeler 4 did, or I may just go to the Mike Lane cable ties. Then we're going to carry on fitting all these parts in, and till we get to this part here, we'll install these 2 parts here, and we'll have something that looks a little like that at the end. And then coming up in issue 49, we get more wires. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while. This is probably the issue that I've seen online when everyone was doing their videos and everything. This is the one that made me want to build this car. So I'm quite happy to get to this stage. I've been looking forward to it all the way. I've had this for over a week and I've been putting it off for over a week. So yeah, we're finally going to get to it. So yeah, let's get the parts open and start building. So we've got all the parts out of the packaging. As you can see, we've got an abundance of wires here. These ones are all twisted together. We've got these ones here. This is the yellow cable, and this is actually a double cable, which I was quite surprised with. I thought this was going to be a single cable. We've got like this wire here, which has got some tubing in, basically a tube rather than a wire, so this ain't going to behave itself. We've got these wires here, which is like the little red ones that spin off it. There's some more here. This is a double red cable, and we've got these ones here, which is 2 different lengths. And we've also got the cable ties. We've got 4 cable ties, a bag of FP screws, and a little clip clamp thing. So as I said before, we are going to use these cable ties just for this issue, but they are not really to scale. They're a little bit too big for the 1/8 scale, so I probably will go to the Mike Lane cable ties at some stage, but for now we're just going to clamp everything down with these. Okay, so starting off, we're going to need our center console piece, and yeah, the first 4 or 5 stages are all to do with this part here. So I do have these 2 cables here. If you're just doing a standard DeLorean, you won't have these 2 cables here. You'll have one single cable for the 1/6 to 6 switch. Mine's is because I have got it thingied for the actual Model Mods one in there. As you can see, that's the Model Mods one, the 1 to 6 switch. So that's just basically like a replacement casing, and ours is going to be wireless. So the first few steps, what I want us to do is take this cable here, which is, it should be numbered on there, cable number 18, and we're going to wrap this round the dashboard, and we're going to go in between these 2 red parts here, but just behind them, just like that. Wrap it round down over the dashboard, around there, and back under here, and it's going to come down and meet these cables down here. So we're going to flip this over. Now we've got it round. Want us to put it to the side, but I don't think that matters. As long as we're clear of these pin points here, then we'll be fine. So yeah, we just got them all down there, and I'm just going to use some tweezers just to poke this wire just down here, make sure it stays just in there. And now we're going to need the actual floor panel piece. So I'm going to bring in the floor panel. And so I've got the floor panel piece, and I've got this piece. I've got all the wires coming out here. So all we're going to do is grab hold of them, make sure they don't come out. And we're going to flip this over. This is just going to sit onto here, just like that. And then we've got all the wires coming out the back, just like that. We've got this wire coming over and going into here. And yeah, looking very, very cool. So now we need to start securing this down. And we're going to secure this down with the FP screws that were provided, just in these 4 points here, 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 and here. So let's take our first FP screw, and I'm just going to go just in this top one, just here. It's the outer one you want to go to, not the inner one. That's the first one in there, and now I'm going to go to this one here. then the bottom two just down here. So the very last screw, just in this one here. Just like that. And now we've got this here, just like that. This cable here, if you're wondering where this is going to go, this is going to come round and hide behind the back of this gold box here. So this is going to come up and basically meet, I'm going to put this, feed this down into here, just so it sits out of the way. So when we put the bulkhead on the back, I'm going to pull this nice and tight, and that's going to sit just there like that. As we ain't going to need this for a few minutes, I'm just going to move it to the side just to get some room. So now we're going to need this little black clip here, and this does have a larger and a smaller tab on here, and we're going to start feeding them through the left hand side, and we're going to be fitting in all the different colours in the order it tells us, just all the way along here. And the cable we're going to use is this one here, the one with the twisted end, which is 48B. Okay, so it wants this about halfway down the cable, so we're going to go to around about here. And yeah, so we're going to start feeding it through. So the first colours it wants us to do is red. So let's start feeding these through. So it wants it red, red, white, white. So you want to come down through the top here first, just like so. Feed that through, and we can get it to roughly where about we want it, which is I'm going to have it right about here. Turn it round, and then we feed the cable through the other side here. Pulling it through, and it should sit somewhere in the middle, just like that. So now we're going to feed it, keep feeding them through. So we want the next red one. So that's red, and it wants the next red. Just like threading needles, really. And the two whites. Can be quite tricky to get them in the right place where you want them, but yeah, there we go. Now the second white, pull that one through, trying to get them the same sort of tautness on each side as well, so they ain't got no loose cables or anything hanging out. It makes it easier for you. You can untangle all these wires, undo this twisty bit, and then you can twist it back up later so you can add them one by one. Now it wants the two black ones to go in next. Just feed these through. Pull that one through, now the second one. This is one of the most time consuming parts, is sitting here threading all this through. Next it wants the two yellow ones, so we're going to feed these ones through. The first one. And the second one there. I just need to feed them through the opposite side. And the very last one to go through is the brown one. Just like that. As you can see, mine's just sort of gone a little bit wonky, so I'm going to start straightening this up, feeding them through and bringing it down a little. So to do that, all you do is you take this end, you're going to push it through, and then you can pull it through on this side until you're happy with the position that you've got it in. So now we've got this all on there, got it lined up with the middle. What it wants to take us to do is go to the end and start twisting. So we can start twisting this together. So it's roughly around about the same as the other side. What about that? Just like that. Now we've got to be taking this and putting it onto the actual assembly that we just put together, which is this one here. And this is going to be going just up here, just on this top bit of the gauges here. So we're going to want to go onto here, push that down into there, just like so. So we've got the red on the inside, just here. So now we've got to be feeding this a couple of different ways. This one is going to want to come down and go around here. This one is going to be coming down here. So let's start by putting this one down. We're going to try and keep the cables neat, but we can always tidy them up later. So this is coming down here, round the front, over here, and then we're going through the little hole just at the back there. We'll be feeding this through the little hole just at the back, just like that. And we're just going to pinch that over the top there, and that will sort of keep it just in place, just like that. We can tidy the cables up a little bit later, but that's sort of what we want, just like that. So now we're going to do exactly the same with this one, and this is going to be fed just the side of this console. So we can go down here, trying to keep all the wires neat again. And then just under here, there's another hole. Just down there, just through the centre is where we're going with this one. So I'm just going to keep my thumb just here at the top. I'm going to turn this round and start feeding this through down here. Now we can grab this one, start putting this one through. There's something like that. Do look a little bit messy at the minute, the cables, but not too bad. I'm quite happy with that at the minute. Until we start getting the cable ties on, then I can tidy them up properly. So next, we're going to need these two cables here, the sort of black tubing and the yellow one. Sort of get them sort of in the middle, which is around about here. And we're going to be pushing these through here. I'm going to use some tweezers just to push these down into here. Now this one's going to want to come round the back of here. So I'm going to curve this round, poking it down with tweezers at the same time. This black tube isn't going to stay, so we're just going to keep pushing it down, and it's going to want to come round here. I'm going to keep my tweezers just on this part here, just so that stays down. It's going to want to follow these cables here and go down with them. So this is going to come round here, down and through the back hole that it came through before. I'm just going to twist them cables just around there. That's going to keep that there for me now. As you can see, it's not popping out all over the place. So we can keep that one there. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. But the problem we've got on this side is when we put this one in, when we go round here and we go underneath here, and we're going to come out the back just here. When we come out of here, there's nothing for us to twist onto at the minute. So we're just going to be leaving this as it is, so it might not even stay in here just yet. I'm just going to pull that tight. Just going to leave that somewhere there for now. Okay. Right, now we're going to get some more cables in, and then we're going to start clamping this down. Now we're going to need this cable here, which is 48E, and that's the double red one, the one with two red bits, so we can push that through as well. That's coming round here. I will twist this onto here. This is coming round here just with them. And where's this one going to be going to? We want this sort of to line up just on the middle here. So we're going to pull that enough till we've got it just on here. I'm going to set that right about there. Now we can mix this with these other cables. Just there. Now we're going to put a cable tie on these and clamp these all together. It should help us with the tidying up of it. So we'll slide the cable tie all the way through. Just there. It's got the cable tie on here, just underneath this speaker part here. So we'll get our cable tie. We're going to start making sure we've got this in the right place. and pulling this cable tie nice and tight. Just like that. And that's going to help this sort of keep these down for us. So now that's there. I will trim this down towards the end, but now I'm just going to quickly tidy up these cables here, pushing these down into the place we want them. So sort of round about there. So it's not too bad, it's not too untidy at the minute. Now we're going to want this one here. This is the one with 4 red things at the top, and we're going to want this one. This one's going down the middle here. So this one's going to come and go through here, just like that. Now I can sort of pin this to the back. That's going to come up. That's going to be round about here, I suppose. So I'm feeding that through and I'm pulling it down. We want this to be around about here so we can reach all of these bits. So I'm going to have that there. And now, does it want us to put a cable tie on that? Yes, it does. So you can take another cable tie. Where have you gone? There you are. This is going to go through here, underneath all of these cables now. So now I need to try and get it through all of these cables. Just like that. And now I'm just going to, now that's that clamped up. Now I can feed this red one back through here. Having it clamped up with these ones here, but I want all the colours to match. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. Just there, just like that. And that's that one in there. So we will be trimming these down like I said earlier. So we can just, there is movability in that, so we can pull it back and forth. Right, we're getting somewhere. Now we're going to want this one, which is the longer of the ones with the 4, and this one's going to come down this way. So we're going to want to pull all these cables together through here, and this one's going to be coming up here, round. This one's just going to get fed through the centre down here. So we are going to have 2 cables down here. So let's get that down there, fed through the back, or we could just feed it straight through the inside, which might be easier. So let's pull them all straight. And to feed it through here, and it should come out the footwell just down there. Right, so that's going to come up here. I'm going to want to clamp this with a cable tie to these ones here as well. So if you struggle to get your cable ties in, what you want to do is the end where this is, go to the opposite end and pinch it over so you've got like a hook, and then you can get your actual cable tie underneath there just like that. So now make it easier, just grab the first couple of teeth just like that, and we can get these where we want them. So this one's going to come up here, and I'm going to feed this through this cable tie just here, and now we can start tightening this one up. That's that. Now I can tidy these ones up at the back. Just like that. And we've got these 4 here, these 4 here. Now we're going to take this cable. We've got 2 different ends. We've got the longer end and the shorter end. We want them to come round here, so I want them, the longer ones, to be able to fit, because they're going to plug into these black bits here. So we want the longer ones to be able to fit into here. So I'm going to hold that on top of there, feed that round. That's going to come out of the back with these 2 cables here, just like so, just like that. And now we can start putting the last cable tie on just around here. So I'm going to feed this one through. I'm not going to tighten this one up until I've got all of these coloured cables fed into the black bit on here. So I'm just going to put a little bit tight just to keep them in the same sort of general area, just like that. Now we can work on this area here. Right, so I've got the super glue just at the ready, just in case we're going to need it. So I'm going to put that here on a little I think this was for the Terminator I did, so I've got that just sat here, and I'm also going to have a cocktail stick at the ready just in case. because these have got to start plugging into here, and I don't think they're going to stay where they want them to stay. So these first two are going to be going in these first two holes here. So we will try and get these plugged in. Doesn't really matter which one you pick to go in which hole, but I'm going to try and get them to stay in. I've got a feeling they won't. No, they ain't going to stay in, I can tell right now. So I'm just going to get a little dollop of glue just on the end of my cocktail stick. Stab that into each one of those holes. Now I'm just going to feed them in just like that. And the second one, and the glue will dry and take to them and keep them in their place. So that's that one in. And now we're going to want these red ones here. One of them is going to come across to here. One of them is going to be at the back here, and then two of them this side here. So let's get our cocktail stick, and I'm going to put this one in first. So down there. And I'm just going to pick a random one, which I think I'll pick this one. Spin it round. Stick him in. That's that one. I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So number one, number two. So these two I'm going to feed into here. So this one, can use your tweezers into here. Now this one in the one next to it. Just like so. And now we're going to go to the end one at the back on this side here. I know it's not the best angles to show you, but this is tiny little parts. So now this one can go into here. Just like that. I'm just going to move this one out of the way. So now that's that one in. Now these two on this are going to go to the end two on here. So one and two. Let's get them in. So the one on the left is the one we want to go in first. And then the one on the right is going to go in the other one. Just like that. So let me show you where we've got to so far. So we've got the cable coming up from here. That's getting fed into here, and the first one in here, and this little control box here is going down into here. So now you've got these four here. So we've got to get them in somewhere. So we've got these four here. One of them is going to come to here. The other three are going to get plugged into here. So I'm going to put the one that goes into here first, just so I know I've got the right length. I'm going to go with the bottom one on here. Just like that. So now that comes in handy that I haven't done this cable tie up really tight yet. So I can pull this through, make sure I've got the right amount that I want. So I can put that down just like that now. Now the other three are going to get plugged into the opposite side. So let's get them in. Just like that. We've got all them red cables now plugged into that. So we can do this cable tie up nice and tight now, or we can pull it through. Yeah, let's pull this through so it's nice and tight. Do this cable tie all the way up. Now this one's going to come back down here and go back out this hole down here. Alright, so the very last thing to do is to do exactly the same but with these parts here. So we want this one out of the way. We're going to start with this end first. There is a colour order: red, yellow, red, blue. So we'll go with a red first. Right, so they weren't easy to get in there, just like that. So what I had to do was put a dab of glue on each one just to get them to go, just stay in place, because they weren't very good to get in there. So I'm going to pull this nice and tight, and then we've got to do exactly the same. But now with this one, and we've got four cables again. I've got two reds here. I've got three reds. Oh yeah, the other red goes to this one here. So this one here, I'm going to pull to this side. And we want red, yellow, red, blue again. So again, doing the same method as what I did before. Take a cocktail stick and get it on your first cable that you want and just rub it on the end of the cable. Just so the cable is a little bit damp with the glue. Not absolutely soaking because we don't want to get all the part covered in glue. And let's move them out of the way. Then we're going down the back here and we're plugging into this one now. That's that one there. Now the yellow. You can plug that one in. So that one, now another red. They won't stay in there if you are just plugging them in. I couldn't get them to just stay in there, so that's why I'm putting a little touch of glue just to keep it on. As soon as it gets in the hole, it'll grab it. Just like that one has done there. And the very last one is the blue one here. Let's get that one down. This red one's just come out, so we can fix that. And then feed the red one back in. There we go, that's them all in. Now the very last one, which is here, it's got to go, there's a little tiny peg hole just on the side of this black box here. That's where this one's going. Take that one and plug that one just into there. So now we can bring this one round, feed it back through this cable tie, just like that, putting them all nice and tight, getting this one in the position we want it, bringing that down, and make sure you don't pull the cables out as you're doing it. And pull that cable tight, nice and tight. Get it in the position you want it. Just like that. And that is this issue nearly complete. All we need to do now is we're just going to snip off these cable ties, so get them nice and tight, get nice and close as you can. So use these just to be better, and make sure this one's nice and tight. Yep. And this one is also nice and tight. That'll sit just there, just like that. That's this issue complete. So as I said, coming up next time we're going to be doing some more wiring and adding some seat belts by the looks of it. there you go, guys. That's issue 48 all complete. I don't really know what you were all moaning about. That was really easy. No, it weren't really. Yeah, so here it is here. That's issue 48 all done. As you can see, we've got all the cables on there. Yeah, really happy with how it went. The worst part was putting these black parts on here, the cables into the back of them. They just would not stay in. I had to use a bit of glue for that, and also in these red bits here, they didn't want to stay in there, so they're the only bits that I glued. All the others I just clamped together and twisted together. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I was dreading that issue all week, but really happy I've got that out of the way now. So now, next issue, we've got some more wires to do. So if you like this video, guys, please leave a like down below, and if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye bye.